Basecamp stops going woke and going broke. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. We're going to have a look at a blog post from the firm Basecamp that was sent to me by a viewer. Now Basecamp, I'm not familiar with it, but the all-in-one toolkit for working remotely. So kind of like a collaboration, project management type of software. Now, they've made some changes to their business and I think it's quite interesting to have a look just to see what they actually had in place, how woke this company had got, how far they stepped off the path of being just focusing on their business, because frankly it's insane. As someone who's run a small business nowhere near their size, managed a variety of people, this just seems like a nightmare. I can't even imagine how anyone would want to work in an environment like this. I mean, I've been watching Joshua Flukes on YouTube and he just makes fun of all of the corporate cringy crap over in America. This just seems like a nightmare. Let's have a look at this. Let's see how Basecamp have changed. So at Basecamp, we treat our company as a product. It's not a rigid thing that exists. It's a flexible, malleable idea that evolves. We aren't stuck with what we have. We can create what we want. Just as we improve products through iteration, we iterate on our company too. That makes perfect sense. Jason's right there on the money. You don't want to stagnate. You don't want to stagnate. So recently we've made some internal company changes which taken in total collectively feel like a full vision change. It deserves an announcement. In the product world, not all changes are enjoyed by all customers. Well, if you're into gaming, you know about that. Some changes are immediately appreciated. Some changes take time to seep or settle in and get acquainted with. And to some changes never feel quite right. They may even be a deal breaker. The same is true when changing your company, except that the customers are the employees. No, the customers are the customers. The employees are the employees. But anyway. And when you get to a certain count, customers or employees or both, there's no pleasing everyone. Yep, you can't. There are too many unique perspectives, experiences, and individuals. As Huxley offers in The Door of Perception, we live together, we act on and react to one another, but always and in all circumstances we are by ourselves. The myriad goes hand in hand into the arena. They are crucified. The martyr goes hand in hand. The martyrs, I'll get that right. The martyrs go hand in hand into the arena. They are crucified alone. Embrace the lovers desperately try to fuse their insulated ecstasies into a single self-transience in vain. By its very nature, every embodied spirit is doomed to suffer and enjoy in solitude. Heavy, yes, but insightful, absolutely. A relevant reminder, we make individual choices. We all want different somethings. Some slightly different, some substantially. Companies, however, must settle the collective differences, pick a point, and navigate towards something, lest they get stuck, circling nowhere. With that, we wanted to put these directional changes on the public record. Historically, we've tried to share as much as we can for us and for you. So this transmission continues that tradition. Okay, so I'm going to have a shot of coffee, and you may need to add some rum to yours, guys, when you hear some of these things this company was doing. So, no more societal and political discussions on our company Basecamp account. Today's social and political waters are especially choppy. Sensitivities are at 11, and every discussion remotely related to politics, advocacy, or society at large quickly spins away from pleasant. You shouldn't have to wonder if staying out of it means you're complicit, or wading into it means you're a target. These are difficult enough waters to navigate in life, but significantly more so at work. I mean, this is the thing. You got to work. You don't sit there pontificating about your political ideological position unless you can make money doing that on YouTube. But you've got to work at a job. It's becoming too much. It's a major distraction. It saps our energy and redirects our dialogue towards dark places. It's not healthy. It hasn't served us well. And we're done with it on our company Basecamp account where the work happens. People can take the conversation with willing co-workers to Signal, WhatsApp, or even a personal Basecamp account, but it can't happen where the work happens anymore. So David shared some more details on the initial announcement on the Hey World blog. Okay. Now, I remember I was actually working, my first ever job was for an architectural practice here in Brisbane. And what they had is if you wanted to access the internet, you'd access it from another computer provided in the lunchroom. So you were not to access any personal emails, any banking, nothing from your work email. You were to do it from a separate computer that was separated from the network, had its own dial-up connection of all things. But, it had it. So it could protect their network, which I thought was a fantastic idea. I wish I had implemented that because I had a virus infect my whole network because a staff member was buying shoes during business hours. And here we go. This is insane. This one's just nuts. No more paternalistic benefits. Wow. For years, look at what they've offered. We've offered a fitness benefit. See, here in Australia, that would be a fringe tax, fringe benefit. You'd be paying extra on the jealousy tax. A wellness allowance, a farmer's market share, and continuing education allowances. They felt good at the time, but we've had a change of heart. It's none of our business what you do outside of work. Oh, fantastic. And it's not Basecamp's place to encourage certain behaviors, regardless of the good intentions. Are these people growing up? Is this a bunch of lefty people realizing there's a reason why businesses traditionally stay out of all this stuff? And there's a separation. Are they becoming capitalists? Now, if only they'd vote that way. By providing funds for certain things, we're getting too deep into nudging people's personal individual choices. So we've ended these benefits and as compensation, paid each employee the full cash value of the benefits for this year. In addition, we shall introduce a 10% profit share plan to provide direct compensation that people can spend on whatever they like, privately, without company involvement or judgment. Fantastic! Fantastic! That's business! Here we go. Number 3. Oh, this gets even worse. I mean, I remember hearing my local member when he was up there talking at a debate. Because I ran for federal parliament once because I wanted to vote for someone that was pro-life. And there wasn't anyone, so I stood up and did it. And I remember when the local member, the incumbent, and he's still there, was prattling on about he was on this committee, that committee, and I thought, that's not work. Committees are never work. They're always just a waste of complete time. But for some people, committees, they think that's actually productive. So, for nearly all of our 21-year existence, we were proudly committee-free. No big working groups making big decisions or putting forward formalized groupthink recommendations. No bureaucracy. But recently, a few spun up. No longer. We're turning things back over to the person or people who were distinctively hired to make those decisions. The responsibility for DEI work returns to Adrian, our head of people ops. The responsibility for negotiating use restrictions and moral quandaries returns to me and David. A long-standing group of managers called Small Council will disband. Small Council. When we need advice or counsel, we'll ask individuals with direct relevant experience rather than a predefined group at large. Back to basics, back to individual responsibility, back to work. This is what it is. This here is what they're actually doing. They're just getting rid of all of the fluff and crap. Could you imagine working in an environment like this? I couldn't even deal with it. No more lingering or dwelling on past decisions. We've become a bit too precious with decision-making over the last few years, either by wallowing in indecisiveness, worrying ourselves into overthinking things, taking on a defensive posture, and assuming the worst outcome is the likely outcome, putting too much energy into something that only needed a quick fix, inadvertently derailing projects when casual suggestions are taken as essential imperatives, or rehashing decisions into different forums or mediums. It's time to get back to making calls, explaining why once, and moving on. Oh, they're going to be leaders. They're going to be leaders. Wow. Oh, boy. Thanks for sending this to me, Scott. You're right. This is a good one. Unbelievable. No more 360 reviews. Employee performance reviews used to be straightforward. A meeting with your manager or team lead, direct feedback and recommendations for improvement. Yeah, isn't that what they are? I mean, it's been a few years since I've had a staff member, but that's what we did. I remember the last time it was, you've also getting a pay rise. And then we fired them all. But, you know, that's business sometimes. It happens. Then a few years ago, we made it hard. Worst, really, we introduced 360s, which require peers to provide feedback on peers. The problem is peer feedback is often positive and reassuring, which is fun to read but not very useful. Assigning peer surveys started to feel like assigning busy work. Well, you've generated a lot of busy work here in this business. Manager-employee feedback should be flowing pretty freely back and forth throughout the year. No need to add performative paperwork on top of that natural interaction. So we're done with 360s too. So, no forgetting what we do here. We make project management, team communication, and email software. We are not a social impact company. Our impact is contained to what we do and how we do it. We write business books, blog a ton, speak regularly, we open source software, we give back in inordinate amounts to our industry given our size, and we're damn proud of it. Our work, plus that kind of giving, should occupy our full attention. We don't have to solve deep social problems, chime in publicly whenever the world requests our opinion on the major issues of the day, or get behind one movement or another with time or treasure. These are all important topics, but they're not our topics at work. They're not what we collectively do here. Employees are free to take up whatever cause they want, support whatever movements they like, and speak out on whatever horrible injustices are being perpetrated on this group or that, and unfortunately, there are far too many to choose from. But that's their business, not ours. We're in the business of making software and a few tangential things that touch that edge. We're responsible for ourselves. That's more than enough for us. Oh, mate, you're gonna upset all your woke employees. What are they gonna do? This may look like compression, a reduction, and elimination, and it is. It's precisely that. We're compressing X to allow for an expansion in Y. You're compressing and reducing the woke crap that you have that's slowing down your business, so you can actually focus on your business. This is fantastic. Is this just maturing? I mean, they've been in business for 21 years. How can you make these mistakes? How? I guess it's just flowing with the culture, listening to the rubbish that you hear. I mean, it's a software company. They're going to be in a particular echo chamber over in the States. A return to whole minds that can focus fully on the work we choose to do. A return to low ceremony, steady state where we can make decisions and move on. A return to personal responsibility. They're not going to like that. Good faith, trust in one another to do our own individual jobs well. A return to why we started the company. A return to what we do best. So who's responsible for these changes? David and I are. So the owners. Who made the changes? David and I did. These are our calls, and the outcomes and impacts land on our doorstep. Input came from many sources. Disagreements were heard. Deliberations were heard. In the end, we feel like this is the long-term, healthy way forward for Basecamp as a whole, the company, and our products. When you've been around 20 years, you've been through change. You're used to it and comfortable with it. These changes are part of a continuum in the experiment of independence that is Basecamp, and 37 signals before it. We'll eventually run headlong into big change again. This is what we've done, and this is what we'll do. Time guarantees it. We very much look forward to the new version of the company. Once the construction site is cleaned up and dust settles, we believe we'll see a refocused, refreshed, and revitalized Basecamp. Here we go. And my understanding is that Basecamp have around 90 staff. How many do you think quit from this? How many? Looks like 30. It looks like 30. I mean, what happened, everyone? We all know what happened. They got rid of the dead wood. It's a brilliant way to get rid of the dead wood. What are the solutions and lessons here? And I would be shocked if anyone in my audience, we got a lot of small business people, a lot of sensible people would think any of these ideas are good. Unbelievable. I mean, stick to business. Stick to business. I mean, we've got all the woke capitalistic BS that's going on where all these big soulless corporations virtue signal to, is that Pepe? They've got Pepe on here. How did Pepe get on there? Anyway, virtue signal just for the sake of it, for marketing. Now, here's a question. Should people be able to, or businesses be able to discriminate based on political ideology? So you can take a survey. If anyone falls in a particular quadrant of the political compass, you just don't hire them. So then you can have like the woke businesses versus the same businesses and let the market decide. What do you reckon? Let me know your opinions on this one. Have you encountered any of this just insane stuff in business here in Australia? Is this permeating through? Let us know. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can sign up for the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us by joining SelfWealth or Stake. You can use our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or HeiseBroadband. Buy a merch from HeiseSays. We make pocket squares, even though I don't wear them that much anymore. You can support us by using Gold Pass or by the Perth Mint. And finally, PayPal. Take care. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.